Good morning, afternoon, and evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Zachary Nolan.
My name is Carter.
This is a waste of time. This is a waste of time.
So this is the new low, right?
This episode sucked. Like,
is this worse than 3?
And I get it. Like, some people like this type of things, and I get it. It's cool. There are so many problems I have with this episode. It's nothing. It's nothing.
Has to be
at best, it's nothing. At worst, it's frustrating because you're trying to painfully outline. Stop trying to painfully outline points. You don't need to painfully outline points.
This is the longest episode. This episode was the one they gave so much time, and we
know why. It's because half the scenes are from episode 3!
Yeah, all they did was they literally showed some of the exact same scenes with a few slight camera, like a little, where they showed a little bit before a scene or a little bit after, or they'll maybe show it from a different camera angle. Like, it was absolute lazy garbage.
Like,
now, I want to make this clear. So if you haven't ever seen our stuff, we are trying to enjoy this
so hard.
Episode 5, we actually thought was pretty good.
We thought episode 5 was good. We thought episode 6 was okay.
We thought episode 6 was okay.
Episode 6 was okay.
6, we didn't think it was great, but we thought that there was potential.
We liked episodes 1 and 2.
And episodes 1 and 2 were fine. We're not in that crowd of people that are just trashing on everything.
Episode 3 sucks.
Episode 3 is horrible.
And episode 7 is worse.
And episode 4 is boring, but it's better than 3. And episode 7 has found a way to be worse than 3. When I said, when episode 3 came out, like of this show, that it was the worst episode of Star Wars in cinematic history, and I think this maybe tops that.
Yeah.
At least in live action.
I don't want to do that, but yeah, it's bad.
I mean, what else?
If you're watching this on a low risk watch, you'll tolerate it. However, you will also be like, why are they showing me every single scene?
Also, can we talk about the horrible cinematography in this episode? It was bad. Those speeder scenes looked better.
Oh, can we first get this so we can do chronological order? Carter, you can throw out the first reaction here. What?
That was a cut and a half.
How did you even get here?
We just did 3 cuts up like a kilometer. What?
This is basically, so I kind of like what they're doing. I kind of like a little bit. I like the concept that you're artificially creating Jedis a little bit. I'm okay with it, and I'll tell you why I'm okay with it. The reason I'm okay with it is because the reason Darth Plagueis was even experimenting is because he had heard of cultures and witches and certain things, and he was trying to incorporate that into just the normal dark side of the Force to do that for the purposes of the Sith. That makes sense. But the thing that hurts is when you think about these idiots, and it's like, Darth Plagueis learned to create Anakin from these idiots? No. And here's the thing. I actually think the head witch is kind of interesting. She's really uncomfortable, though, to watch sometimes. Yeah. I'm going to say it, and then we'll not talk about it again. That scene between her and Master Tormund is downright uncomfortable. Tormund is a Padawan, and she is a grown woman, and just stop. Could we have done a second take of that? Like, that didn't need to be a one-take shot. I'll just put it that way. I was watching this, and I'm like,
all that dialogue needs to be changed.
All
that dialogue needs to be changed, too.
Yeah.
It's just bad.
It's like, I get what you're trying to get, I get what you're trying to say. There was a better way. A more comfortable way to say, my God, if I was Tormund, I never would have went in that place ever again. I would have been like, you know what? That's enough for me.
Although it's funny. So we get back to the point where May starts the fire again because we need to see it because we already saw it. So we need to see the same scene again. And she tries to put out the fire. And I'm not going to lie, this is kind of comical.
This is comedic.
No, you know what? No, that's fair. That's fair.
Ooh, fire! What?
Yeah, you got it, sister.
Way to go! You doomed us all. Can't stop a fire, ladies and gentlemen.
The fire is spreading all over the walls, all over the rock walls, and metal walls. and she's stomping
it. This is actually hilarious. She picks up fire, okay? Like, we're going to give you the May thought process here.
Yeah.
She starts a fire. She lights the fire on paper, intentionally.
To try to get it more.
And then in a sealed room, in a closed room, she throws that thing in the corner.
Does not drop, throws it.
She throws it in the corner.
Willingly.
Like it's...
But now we want to stop it, even though we just started the fire.
Yeah, now we
like, I want the fire, but like then I decided I didn't want the fire.
You threw the fire in the corner next to a and then it starts burning through metal. Let's not even talk about that.
And rock.
The
Hoover Dam.
But also too, what did May think was gonna happen? There's an overlook. She could have thrown that thing, and it wouldn't have hit a single tree because it would have ran out of oxygen on the way down. But no, she did. She threw it in the one spot you shouldn't throw fire in, a closed room. That's impressive. That's impressively bad. Okay, so here's the one thing that I don't get. We don't have any reactions to the cinematography, by the way, because we don't like it. We just don't like it.
No, like there was these awkward camera shots.
There's one good cool move. There's one move I like. And it's funny because I think Torben's actually doing kind of fun stuff. But because the camera doesn't know how to track it, it all falls flat. Like because they use the projectiles they use, it doesn't pop on the screen.
Yeah, I know. That really should have been...
The one cool thing...
It should have been lasers because it just visually would have looked like...
Or brighten them. Or brighten the arrows.
Yeah, you can do like the arrows like the Night Sisters use on their bows. Like
because that's literally what you're saying is this is.
Yeah, no, that would be great.
What was I gonna say? Oh, the one cool thing is Saul doing that weird jump over the Wookiee's blade. I like that. That was nice. And then we got a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu
Now the only thing,
which is a little bit weird,
problem I had with that, I was fine with that. But the thing is that doesn't work if all the choreography leading up to it is so absolutely... It was horrible. Where was the episode 5 awesome choreography we saw? Like, seriously, I really think that choreography they had in episode 5 was better than all of the sequel's choreography.
Let's pretend one thing. Let's pretend that we're working with someone who's thinking while this is getting written. The logic is
Which wasn't Leslie.
Let's just pretend for a minute, because I will admit that there is a way around this bad choreography, as long as you are admitting that it's bad. Because if you're saying it's good, then you don't believe the premise of what I'm about to tell you, and that means that we can't see things. The idea is that no one wants to kill each other, and that makes sense. One's fighting mind control, and the other is fighting the friend who's mind controlled. With that logic, this choreography almost works. I'm not gonna say it works. I'm not gonna say, but it's a
stretch. But I can see it.
I'll give them the.
Now, one thing I will say that I think it might be a slightly stronger point is because the Wookiee, at least for the Wookiee specifically, I can't remember his name, because he's being mind controlled. The witch that's doing the mind controlling.
Witch?
She doesn't.
You mean all of them?
Or yes, all of them. Whatever. The ones that are controlling his mind. Because they're not a Jedi, they don't know how to do the choreography. And he's not really in his own head. They're in his head. So it makes sense why it'd be that.
So first off, this is really funny. So May... just wait. So May is like, the blah, blah, blah. There's some weird stuff happening. And this woman decides to become a death phantom looking thing. And thinks,
May.
Yeah, that'll.
That wasn't May.
No. Just listen. This woman, the woman is not May. May is a child, actually. Okay, There's May, and this woman decides to become this weird phantom-looking creature. And Saul, quite rightfully, goes, "Yeah, we're not doing that. We're not gonna do that," and stabs her. Which, by the way, I hope the writer. I bet the writers' room thought they had a real sad death there. No, that popped. Awesome. That popped. Yeah! Bang! Uh-oh! Mama! Dang!
Hell
bang!
Yeah.
Bang!
Boom!
Bang!
Woo!
All day. It's great. Okay. And, like, I will acknowledge that she's probably the best character of the female witches there. Is there a high bar? Low bar, yeah.
The bar is here.
Yeah.
And the camera only detects it down to here.
Yeah. But anyway, the point is like, the second she dies, I'm like, good, this scene is going to completely unravel, which is what it was supposed to do. It thematically, I like how it unravels.
We could have gotten
listen, thematically, I like how the scene unravels after her death.
Yeah.
Watching it is painful. It's not good. But then we get the dumbest thing ever. So, an entire witch's column.
They're holding hands, and they're all mind controlling.
Kalnaka's getting Bluetoothed, and...
He's getting Bluetoothed.
He's getting Bluetoothed by witches, and then all they do is just stop the mind control. Stop! He just stops, they just overcome the mind control, and they just die. Like, on this, like...
They all just start...
This...
Like...
They die. They flat out die.
Oh, my goodness.
From what I can explain is, like, here it is.
Is that gonna kill them?
There's no way. There's no way.
Surely, are you kidding me?
No, that can't be it. That's too funny. She just mind wiped an entire colony. That's amazing. They all died. Now I thought that was like they'll get up and then they get. No, they all died.
Nah, this is Last Jedi Luke Skywalker logic.
For the record.
Yep.
Saul killed one person. The rest of them bet on the wrong horse. That was their problem. Yep. They bet on the Wookiee to win. And you know what? I understand. Let the Wookiee win. Not this time. They bet on the wrong Jedi. Them losing mind control and dying is hilarious. Because it just shows that they are insignificant and nothing.
Yeah.
Like, you are a small fish, buddy. You didn't even make it to hand-to-hand
And that was
combat.
A single Jedi
that was able to resist all of them. Why did they show them using weapons if you were just going to murder them via Bluetooth? That's dumb to me. That's a little bit dumb.
Now, okay. one thing I do want to say, because in regards to cinematography, we were talking about a while ago, that I just want to talk about. There's a few things I didn't like. Number one, so why are the speeders looking like that?
The speeders
look really strange, like weirdly, like back.
The speeders look bad.
Doesn't look good. And then another thing, the way they were doing the cameras on the speeders, it looked better in Star Wars Return of the Jedi, and that came out in 1983.
Yeah, the speeders look bad. Also,
and the camera shots of it were just atrocious. What was that like? Remember when the dude was getting obsessed, and then it was just all the camera shots of her. It was like, what? Like, that looks terrible. What are we doing?
The thing too. You're allowed to have a bad episode in a show. You're allowed to have 2 bad episodes in a show, and I say that as a guy who watches shows that sometimes have bad episodes. You are not allowed to have the worst episode of your show be the second last episode of your show.
We have the finale after this.
The finale next week. I have no idea. There's nothing connected.
And you know the thing is?
There's nothing connected.
You know what's crazy?
They didn't even tell the story.
Episode 3 of the show is really bad. All you had to do was take the last 5 minutes of this, chop the last 5 minutes of episode 3, throw this on there, and then this entire episode 7 is completely irrelevant, and you can actually keep building on the stories that you set up in 5 and 6.
It's the same length of episode. Also, too, let's not stress this enough. They didn't even tell the story from the perspective of Osha or May learning anything. Nobody told.
Why did we get the whole scene of May lying to the Jedi when they were doing?
Yeah,
we already know the answer.
Yeah, this
is worthless. It was 5 minutes. Which, by the way, with the show's $180 million budget, if you do the math, if you take a look at that scene, over $1 million was wasted on that.
I'm trying not to be a Debbie Downer here. But I just don't understand, how do you properly build up a finale if you haven't given any story to it? And sure, okay, why is this episode here?
This episode actually furthers nothing.
It doesn't do anything. It answers everything that the show was painfully trying to point out to us.
All it shows is that
it just annoys us.
Is that Soul killed the person in charge, but we already knew that happened. It was so obvious.
He wasn't hiding it. The only thing that this surprises is that Homie was actually holding both of them up originally, and then he drops one. Which, by the way, good call. As a player of a Telltale game, I'd have done that too. Sorry, May.
May will remember that.
May will remember that. May will fall to the cliff. But yeah, no, this is frustrating. We'll see how it goes. Well, it's bad. It's bad. Yeah, no, hope you enjoyed our video.
Absolute.
That's
we're
trying.
Nonsense.
We liked Andor. We liked the Bad Batch, even though the Bad Batch was sometimes annoying.
Yeah, and the Bad Batch had tons of problems with filler, but overall it was still a solid show.
I never hated it for being there.
No. I'd be like, you know what? I feel like we didn't learn much today, but you know
what? We did
There's
a
nothing actively.
Yeah, like sometimes you'd be like, oh, I did a minecart episode, but other than that, it's all right.
All right. I think that's all we got, eh?
Drop it.
Well, make sure you guys, thank you guys
leave
so
a
much
like,
for
subscribe.
watching.
Thanks so much for watching. I'm ending this misery.
How did my father die?
Like a panther.